On a scale from 1 to 5, 6.
What's up? What it is? What it do? What it is? It's your boy Alan C. In the place to be. What's going on, y'all? Happy November. The first show in November. First show in a while. Again, I guess I'll leave y'all stuck like that. That's my bad. But I'm glad you're still following me. If you are not following me, and this is your first time hearing me, welcome. Follow Al U Buggin on Instagram and YouTube at Al_U_Buggin. And we're going to go ahead and kick this one off like I always do with the Thursday night game. The Broncos won against the Raiders last night. If you've seen that whole game, congratulations. You are officially the strongest link because I was not watching that full game. That game was hard to watch. But all in all, the Broncos got the win. The Broncos got the dub. That is all that matters. It's not a beauty contest. It's a football game. And the Broncos got the dub. So shout out to them for that. Speaking of shout out, I can't believe I just did that. Herb, John, Tay, what up? Shout out to my Sidelines Hawk family as always. But yeah, that game was just not a good game or fun game to watch. The game was 10-7 was the final score. Bo Nix had one touchdown, 2 interceptions. Geno had no touchdowns and 1 interception. Shout out to Aston Genty for getting the only touchdown for the Raiders as he had 60 yards on the night. Don't know what the status is of J.K. Dobbins. I did not see any updates from him. But as he tweeted, he is very frustrated with the no call on the hip drop rule. When it was a talking point and everyone wanted to go ahead and interject with making it a penalty or making it something, it seemed like it was going to be a bigger call than what it actually is. And no one is actually calling it now. So, I'm not quite sure what happened with J.K. Dobbins as far as going forward and his availability for the rest of the season. But prayers to him because he always is a tough guy that bounces back with injuries, and unfortunately, his career has not been going the way he wanted it to go as far as staying away from the injury, the injury table and the injury list. So I hope he's able to come back soon. But as far as the Broncos go, the Broncos do have the best record in the AFC, depending what happened with the Patriots and the Bills. Actually, no, the Bills can only get 7 wins this week. What happens with the Patriots as they take on the Buccaneers this week will determine if the Broncos will stay as number one, but they at least have a share of the number one spot in the AFC. That defense is very strong. That defense, I believe, can contend with any team in the league. The issue is that offense. Not to down Bo Nix, but he has to play a lot more consistent, a lot more efficient. I mean, he's completing less than 60% of his passes. You don't have to throw. If you can get a good drive, what's the word they use? Matriculating the ball down the field, then do that by all means. But to throw less than 60% and not look comfortable until the fourth quarter is something that is going to bite them at a time where they don't want to, especially if you get later and later in the season. The Chiefs are trying to make a run for their AFC West crown that they've had for the last few years since they've had Mahomes starting. These late wins, and they're only, as it stands right now, they're technically 3 games, but they could by the end of the week and could be only 2 games ahead of the Chiefs, and they still got 2 games to play against the Chiefs. So that's not a spot where you want to be with the Chiefs chasing and getting hot. And they're only a game ahead of the Chargers. If the Chargers get it together without Joe Alt, Joe Alt has been ruled out for the rest of the year. If they don't get it right with Joe Alt and the Chargers don't, start chasing the Broncos. So yeah, the Broncos again, they are number one, and shout out to them for being number one. They're just not playing like a number one team when the games are until it's on the line, basically. And sometimes that's way too late to start playing. And speaking of teams that is not playing well and playing up and down, Atlanta's been hot and cold all year. I am a Michael Penix guy. I was a fan of him at Washington. I thought he was going to be something special in the league, and he still has a chance to be. He just has to lead this offense a lot better than has been played so far. Now, Drake London had a hell of a day last week, albeit in a loss. He had 3 touchdowns against the Patriots. So, Drake London is playing some ball. But as far as the Falcons, I mean, they've beat the Bills. They was able to run all over the Bills. Bijan Robinson is has the 10th most rushing yards in the league. So they could definitely run the ball. Their defense, as far as the pass, has been outstanding. They are the number 1 pass rank defense, and they are the number 2 total defense. It's just that Russian defense is ranked 22nd. Well, they're gonna go over to Germany, and they're playing the number 1 rusher in the league. And Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor leads the league in yards. So again, they gotta get their run defense together. They'll need to be able to pull out all the stops to stop the Indianapolis Colts offense, keep that season alive. They are currently 3-5. If they lose this weekend, they go to 3-6. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are leading that division at 6-3, and they already lost to them. They cannot afford to go down potentially if Tampa Bay wins this game 4 games with 8 remaining. That was a steep hill to climb. I don't know if Raheem Morris, I don't know if the GM will survive that. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know if they don't finish where they're supposed to finish and they don't finish the season strong. They may be looking at a new head coach, and that's not fun. So my guy Penix, Drake London. I'm trying to see if Penix is playing this weekend. All right, so they should be getting their guard Chris Lindstrom back, cornerback Mike Hughes, and LaCarol London should be coming back. So yeah, they got Michael Penix. So yeah, him, Drake London. The Colts at the Drake deadline did get Sauce Gardner. They traded away AD Mitchell and got Sauce Gardner to shore up their pass defense. And I'm quite sure Sauce Gardner, not being too entrenched into the playbook, they're going to say, Sauce, cover Drake. That's your guy. And just have him play man to man. as the game plan and see if Michael Penix can beat it. Yeah, Penix did play last game. So, yeah, he had 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, 103 passer rating. So, he played very well last game. You need him to do the same thing. They definitely need him to do the same thing in Germany next week. So, as it says on the bottom, can Atlanta keep it close? Definitely can keep it close. Will they win? I don't say it's going to be a hard pick for me. I'm going to have to go with the Colts on this game, dog. As they calling it, the Brady Bowl. Tom Brady's 2 teams that he led to the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is coming off of bye, and they're going to play New England at Foxborough. I believe that's Foxborough. Baker Mayfield earlier on this season was playing like an MVP candidate. Now, things have changed in Tampa Bay as far as who he has available. Mike Evans, again, is out for the rest of the year. Chris Godwin is injured. The running back, I don't know why his name is escaping me right now, is not playing as well. So Tampa Bay been fighting hard. They've been playing some great football before the bye. But I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome the injury bug that has plagued them, especially going up against a team that could be tied on Sunday night, could be tied for the lead in the AFC North. I'm sorry, AFC, excuse me. AFC North is coming up in a minute. But so Tampa Bay, like I said, New England, Drake May, like I said, if Baker Mayfield was in the MVP discussions earlier on, Drake May has definitely threw his hat in the ring recently. Drake May has been playing some great football over this year. That 2024 quarterback class, it's been showing out. I will say that. Caleb hasn't quite put it together yet. Michael Penix hasn't quite put it together yet. JJ McCarthy is still learning. This is technically his rookie year. Same thing with Penix. Penix didn't come on until late in the year last year. But so far, the early returns on that 2024 quarterback class has been pretty good. But how I see this game going, I see a tight defensive game. New England run defense is amazing, so they're definitely going to try to force Baker Mayfield being down his weapons to beat them in the air and turn it into a Baker Mayfield versus Drake May type of affair. And I'm going to have Drake May coming out on top on this one. I just think the Patriots have too many weapons, not weapons, but too many pieces. And Mike Vrabel has pretty much established a new culture in New England, or restored the culture in New England, if you would say. So I'm going with the Patriots in this game. Matthew Stafford, talk about another MVP level quarterback, man. Matthew Stafford has been playing well. Shout out to them. But an early hiccup in this year on a Thursday night, Matthew Stafford did lose earlier to San Francisco with Mac Jones back there, not Brock Purdy. Mac Jones will be back there again this week. And this is pretty much a revenge game. Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan has been pretty much playing to a draw, if you will. But Kyle Shanahan has definitely had the upper hand when it came down to some late game decisions. It's a great matchup. They pretty much know each other. There's no hidden punches on this one. But Matthew Stafford and that defense has been hot ever since that game. They pretty much had two routes, once against the Saints and then across the pond 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville. And like I said, this offense has been clicking. This defense has been getting after it. Again, to make this one not too drawn out, I got the Rams winning this game. San Francisco is banged up. They're hurt. They're losing pieces as we speak. That team is just not healthy and set to run into deep November, December playoff football. Their rookie is hurt, just tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for the rest of his rookie year. They're pretty much Christian McCaffrey a bust, and the Rams can stop the run. So I'm going to go with the Rams on that one. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night up against the I keep calling them San Diego Chargers. They haven't been in San Diego in forever, but I'm always going to call them San Diego Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers. That's the Sunday night game. Aaron Rodgers played very well against the Colts to beat them last week. The Steelers defense, like I said, they forced 6 turnovers on the Colts last week. They was getting after it. Them boys was getting after it. I see them doing the same thing with the Chargers being down tackles. Not trying to give Justin Herbert an excuse, because it's definitely time for Justin Herbert to deliver on the promise that his talent is making for him. Justin Herbert is a big arm quarterback, but he can't do it by himself. And offensive line is definitely important. And he's down 2 tackles. I believe he's down a guard as well. So I can definitely see this game getting away from them. I do have the Steelers winning this game. I see them keeping it close. Only thing that I give the Chargers a chance at, a puncher's chance, is I don't trust Pittsburgh Steelers in that secondary yet. They could definitely get pressure up front, but if that pressure don't get home and Justin Herbert gets some reads against that, what they want to do in that secondary, he could definitely light them up. I believe having Ramsey and Slay on the back end and not having Minkah Fitzpatrick because they traded him to Miami. They could definitely be got in the secondary. Definitely for deep shots, and Justin Herbert has the arm to do it. So if anything, I could see a shootout, but I'm definitely going Pittsburgh to win this one. Notice I didn't point any points on the slide. That's because I don't do point raises. It was all money line. If you want to bet, gamble responsibly. I will not be responsible for you losing your rent money. Won't be responsible for you losing your mortgage money. Definitely gamble responsibly. But here's the rest of my picks for week 10. Shout out to Athletically Challenged checking in. I appreciate it. All right, we definitely gonna link up. We're going over to the draft. We're going over to the combine. All of that is happening later. We'll get into that. So for the 1:00 games, Chicago Bears is going up against the Giants. I'm taking the Bears in that one. Buffalo Bills are going up against the Dolphins. Don't need to be said there. The Ravens are going up against the Vikings. I will talk about the Ravens and Vikings tomorrow. That's going to be my Ravens episode of Al U Bugging. So definitely continue follow at Al_U_Bugging on YouTube. So I'm not going to say who I'm picking on that one until tomorrow. The Browns versus the Jets, I'm going to go with the Browns, but it's really a toss up. You can flip a coin and pick who you want on that one. I already told you who I was picking on New England versus Tampa Bay. New Orleans versus Carolina. Carolina is sneaky good. This could be a trap game for Carolina. New Orleans could keep this game close, but I got Carolina winning this one. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Houston Texans for AFC South matchup. Give me Jacksonville in this game. Give me Jacksonville. So that's the end of the 1 o'clock games. 4 o'clock, you got Seattle going against Arizona Cardinals. Give me Seattle on that one. I've already said taking Rams over 49ers. Lions over the Washington Commanders, man. Shout out to Jaden Daniels. Hopefully he's able to come back this year. I don't even know if it will be a point for him to come back this year. But shout out to him, man. That elbow dislocation looked crazy. But I'm definitely going with the Lions over the Commanders on that one. We talked about the Chargers over the Steelers over the Chargers, excuse me. And Monday night, ESPN, sorry to those who have YouTube TV like myself. If you got NFL, go ahead and pay that little $14 a month or whatever it is, like I do, or you can go ahead and get the all 22 camera and review every game. That's how I've been watching these Monday night matchups since YouTube TV don't have ESPN no more. But I'm going with Philadelphia over Green Bay. I like Philadelphia a lot in this spot, even on the road against Green Bay. I know Green Bay going to be focused. Green Bay did lose to the Panthers, a game that they shouldn't have lost. So I know they definitely focused to go ahead and play against the Eagles. Eagles are coming off of a bye, however. And despite the rumors and the murmurs and all of that, they did not trade A.J. Brown. So shout out to Philly for getting better. At the trade deadline, they did trade for Jair Alexander because they needed corner help. They did trade for Jalen Phillips because they needed help off the edge, and they got Michael Carter. So shout out to Philly for all of that. And they got to keep A.J. Brown. They definitely won the trade deadline. But come on, Howie is the best GM in the league. That's hands down. No questions or comments on that one. Howie Roseman is the best GM in the league. And at trade deadline, just like last year when he won free agency, he won the trade deadline as well. I'm going with Philadelphia over Green Bay. I do expect Jordan Love to play well, though. So this game is going to look ugly for Philly to start off. But just like Philly has done for all of their games, pretty much for most of the 8 games they played, except for the one they won against the Giants, they started off ugly. But they figured out a way to right the ship and finish off strong. And I can see this game being no different against the 5-2-1 Green Bay Packers. So that's my show for this evening. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. It is Friday. Go out, enjoy life as much as possible legally. Don't do nothing crazy. So go out and enjoy time, man. This time is crazy. I would be remiss if I did not mention a special RIP to Marshawn Nealon, young man, 24 years young, tragically took his own life yesterday. That was a hard pill to swallow. You never know how many battles people are fighting silently until they actually lose one. So shout out to Marshawn Nealon and his family, his girlfriend, just fighting those demons, man. I definitely understand, especially after he lost his mom. Just a feeling that I do not want to know. Can't even imagine knowing. So shout out to Marshawn Nealon and his family. He will be missed as a excellent football player, and he looked like he was a great kid as well. Shout out to him. Rest in peace. That's my show for this evening. Follow Al U Buggin on Instagram and YouTube at Al_U_Buggin. I appreciate you guys for checking in. Be blessed, be productive, be more. I love you. I'm out.